going on, YouTube? It's been quite a while since I did an update. Figured I'd go ahead, throw an update, show you how everything's been going. I left it running all winter long. I only shut it down twice now, and that's because it pretty much froze solid. And I don't have any pictures of that, but that was pretty funny. Just about everything that is sitting up off the tub there was completely frozen solid, had ice everywhere, all over the place. And again, I'm only in the, I don't know, middle of the US on the east side. We don't get freezing temperatures that much around here, and this was kind of weird. So I had to shut her down and wait until it thawed out, turned it back on, then we got another freeze. Both of them down about 22 degrees, which is weird because I think our low around here is like 39 for the winter. Luckily, I didn't have anything go wrong, but let me show you how to winterize aquaponics system like this, at least, and give you a few ideas how to winterize yours if you're in a colder climate, or at least climate that I'm in, and you'll have to take precautions when it gets pretty cold. Alrighty, just got this sucker fired back up after the freeze. As you can see here, still got a bunch of ice in the biofilter here. Just broke through the ice there. You can still see, let's go on that drain there, you can see a big chunk of ice in there. Literally just got the water flow going. You can see how much this one's getting versus this one. Obviously still some ice in the line. And there's some thick ice too, because I just had to break it because the cord fell in. And that is, oh geez, that is that thick right there. So that's like, what, a good inch plus, which is really weird. Right now we've got 60 degrees. Yesterday was 50. The day before was a little bit colder than that, and the day before that was like 22. And the day before that was like 22 as well. I left the air on, as you can see that big, if you can see that in there. Actually, we'll go over there and look. There we go. Much better. As you can see, we've got a big old giant chunk of ice in the center. Or I'm sorry, not in the center, because that's where the air was going. Let's see. This is some pretty thick ice here, for where I live anyway. Normally we barely get a freeze at all, so to have frozen stuff is just pretty crazy. But since I'm on the topic of freezing and everything, let me just tell you how I decided to winterize my stuff. For the main pump there, which is the lower bucket there, which goes straight up into the bucket, into the biofilter. What I did was just turn that off. Since the design is up above the water like this and not down in the water like the last design, when I turn it off, the water just shoots back down and goes back down to the lowest point, so this entire pipe is clear. Don't have to worry about that being winterized at all. And as you can see, we got our drain right there. So when the water level goes down, that pipe ends up clearing out, which goes straight down here, over to the bed, and over to the bed. So that pipe remains clear. So there's nothing in there that should freeze. With my sand filter here, that was a little different. I should have put a drain on the bottom so I could drain it out or something of the sort. The first time it froze, I don't know if anybody knows about winterization, how you do it. The reason that you winterize things is the water in the pipe obviously will be filling the pipe. And if you get a freeze, then the water will freeze, obviously. But when it does that, the water expands. It's kind of the opposite of the cold contracts, heat expands kind of deal with water. Water expands when it gets cold, and the ice literally expands on the pipe and breaks the pipe. Well, what happened last freeze, this right here at the coupler here on the bottom side, the whole pipe just popped right up. That was it. That's the most amount of freezing I've had so far. So with the sand filter winterization, I really haven't done anything. I've just turned it off and let it do its thing. I got some extra pipe. If anything breaks, I'll just go ahead and fix it or remove it. I'm not very worried about that one. I'm mainly concerned about filling up the beds and my aeration of the water. So those were my two primary concerns. And the only other thing I really have to worry about would be winterizing down in here. So what I did was, like right here, I waited until this sucker started going, or like that one right over there. And since I got two going at this exact same time with one pump, what I would do is once I would get one of these started, like it looks like that one over there is going to be number one, and it's going to go ahead and start draining here in a second. As soon as that would start happening, and as soon as I would get draining action, I would go ahead and on the intake pipe right there, I would go ahead and put my finger over it. That way it diverts all the water to the other bed so I could fill that up. Once the second bed would start filling up, I went ahead and turned it off. And the theory behind that being is, you know, same theory behind the entire aquaponics system. You got your water level up, and the sucker will drain it all the way down. Well, with no more water coming in, it drains it all the way down, and that's it. I did not bother removing my bell siphon, which if I was in a colder climate, I would. This was frozen solid. Yesterday even. I was kind of surprised to see it wasn't today. So this area will freeze solid, so if I was in a colder climate, I would probably pull this and the entire standpipe that sticks up from the bottom of it. So if any water gets in, it would just drain right out. The biggest reason I would do that, well, besides for the pipe inside there, which really wouldn't have that big of a deal, just for the entire integrity of the entire thing. I don't want it popping a little tiny hole in the bottom or anything like that, because that will obviously make it leak, and then I'll have more work to do trying to fix that. Here with the strawberries, which have been doing really great. They've just been growing when they can and not when they can't. Obviously, as you can see, we got leaves dying. I come out here every day that's warm. I come out here, pick off all the older leaves, get ready for new growth to start popping up. Actually had, you can see right there, there's a little strawberry that was trying to start. It was before 2 freezes ago or so. As you can see right there, beautiful little strawberry. Starting to poke itself all out. New growth coming up everywhere. Look at the base on that thing. Nice and huge. That's one. No, it's not one of the originals, as a matter of fact. This is one of the originals right here. Nice fat base on that one. You can see it split right there. Went into 2 different strawberries. Here's another gigantic one right there. But everybody's doing great here. Everything's doing good. Even with the freezing temperature, and I'm sure as soon as we get some warm temperatures, we're actually going to get some strawberries starting to bloom, and I'm kind of excited because this is a heck of a lot more than I had last year. So can't wait to see what we get out of this. As far as the fish go, the fish seem to be okay. I can see 2. Let's see here. Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 in there that I can see, and they all seem to be doing good. I hope they'll be fine. Alright, this is the first time that one went this year. Let's see it cutting right into that ice. So with the sun beating down with the cover off, I'm sure it's gonna get rid of some of that ice pretty quick. As you can see, look at that, it's breaking right through that ice pretty good. And that's because right now it's 60 degrees out right now, even though we've got an inch and whatever, an inch plus of ice in the tub. All that water from way down there below the bubbles. That's about all I would do to winterize it. Well, I hope any of this was any help to anybody on winterization. I guess if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll try to get to them. Otherwise, it's pretty much all common sense. Like I said, if you don't have water in the pipes, more than likely you're fine. Even if you have water in the pipes and there's air in the pipes, usually you'll be fine. And obviously, this goes for my climate. For the most part, maybe a little bit colder of a climate. But use your own discretion. I'm sure your common sense will kick in and show you what you should or shouldn't do. If you have any more questions, just Google winterization and check out what, quote, experts have to say and how they do it in your area, because that's probably going to be the best. And hope this helps anybody. Till next time, later.